Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I am not in my normal environment right now because we have moved. We are currently in temporary housing here on base. My son's asleep right now, so I finally have some time to actually film a video. Oh my gosh, a lot has happened, and now that I have a moment to actually film, I'm gonna do it kind of vlog style. I don't really have anywhere to set up anything, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys about my birth story. As you guys know, I really wanted to do a natural birth. We were gonna do it in the birthing center at the hospital, but things happened, and you know what, it's okay. Your baby's gonna come out of you regardless. That's that. So let's talk about my birth story, shall we? When I hit 37 weeks, my husband was starting his leave. We wanted to be able to pack up everything before the baby got here because we knew that once the baby comes, I won't be able to do much because I'm recovering, and also I have to take care of a baby and it'd just be hectic, right? Also during my 37 weeks, I started to walk a little bit. I haven't really gone on any walks or really exercised during this pregnancy because I had that preterm labor scare, and also I had another incident where I was having really bad contractions after spending the day at a fair, and we did a lot of walking, and so I just thought I shouldn't exercise because I knew what was gonna happen, contractions were gonna start and all this stuff. So 37 weeks, I decided, you know what, let's start going on walks. So then 38 weeks comes, and I was 38 weeks on Tuesday, August 24th, and then on August 25th, okay, we took an early morning walk. I mean, it was around 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And then around 11 o'clock, took a shower, and when I was in the shower, I noticed that there was blood. Okay, I know, TMI, but this is the birth story, okay? I noticed that there was blood running down the tub, and I thought, oh my gosh, why is there blood? And I wasn't too sure if it was the bloody show or not, but it was just blood. I called the midwife, and she said that if anything progresses, if I start getting contractions or whatever, give them a call back and then we'll go from there. So I did have some contractions. It was very inconsistent, and then I talked to my mom and also my mother-in-law, and I asked them about, you know, what I was experiencing, and they said that basically after they had that happen to them, they went into labor later that day. So I was like, oh my gosh, I might have a baby. And I started to freak out, not gonna lie, because childbirth is super scary to me, and just the reality of hey, I'm gonna have a baby later today, yeah, that kind of freaked me out. So I started to feel some contractions, but it wasn't intense or anything, you know, it was just uncomfortable. It felt like period cramps almost. And just to get our day going and just keep ourselves busy, my husband and I, we decided to go see Jurassic World. Excuse you. I noticed my contractions were just coming a little bit more, but nothing too crazy. It's just and it wasn't until I would say 9:30 that night where the contractions were coming more frequently, more consistently. I called the midwife and I told her what was going on, and she said, okay, when it starts going what is it, that 511, every 5 minutes I have a minute contraction for an hour. When I get that, to come on in. Okay guys, sorry about the change in location, but we had to check out of the hotel and the baby was fussy, and yeah. And sorry if I'm not looking directly into the camera. We're parked in the middle of a shopping center here on base, and then also that I'm trying to recall the events from the labor and delivery, so I'm just you know, looking around. Hopefully you guys aren't annoyed by that. Anyways, my contraction started around 9:30, but then it was starting to be consistent and was 5 minutes apart for a minute long for an hour around 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And so I was okay, I think we should go into the hospital because it was an hour away. So when we went in, the midwife checked me and she said that I was only a centimeter dilated. However, she said I was 60% effaced or something like that. So that was pretty good, but I was only a centimeter dilated. So she asked me whether or not I wanted to stay and wait a little bit in the hospital or go home and just labor at home. And I decided to labor at home because I was just, you know, more comfortable doing that. So yeah, that's basically what I did, and I went home and I labored in the tub and kept myself busy by eating McDonald's and trying to make YouTube videos, but it was very difficult too because it was just getting more intense. So from 1 o'clock in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon, so that's about, let's see, about 20 hours of just laboring at home. But yeah, so around 5:30 in the afternoon, we decided to go to the hospital, and let me just tell you, like, the pain was super intense. It felt like really strong period cramps, like I said, and we lived an hour away from the hospital, right? We got to the hospital around 6:30, and then they checked me, and they said that I was 5.5 centimeters dilated. So after like 21 hours of just laboring, I'm just like, oh my gosh, only 5.5 centimeters, but I was like halfway there. The pain was super intense. Like when we were walking throughout the hospital, every time I had a contraction, I had to stop and just like sway there, because I couldn't move, like stop what I was doing and breathe through these contractions. They asked me if I wanted to try to use the birthing ball. I just couldn't use the birthing ball. It wasn't helping. It hurt. It actually felt like it hurt more. So all I could do was stand up, lean over a counter, and just sway my hips and just breathe through it. My husband, he was very helpful in like rubbing my lower back, and I think that helped a lot. When I got admitted into the birthing center, in the birthing room, they had like a tub for me to labor in, and that was very helpful as well. And the pain was getting worse and worse at this point. I asked to try the laughing gas. I felt something, like a little bit of something, but oh my gosh, the pain was still there. By this time, I was just crying. I couldn't breathe through them anymore. So I decided, you know what, let's go for the epidural, because I'm exhausted. I've been laboring for over like 30 hours by this point. So around like midnight on Friday, the 27th, they gave me the epidural. Literally, once I got it, it was a night and day difference. I could finally like talk, and I can actually laugh. My husband was just like so relieved to not see me in pain anymore. This is not a good angle. That epidural was amazing at that point. I think like about an hour or two later, I heard a pop, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And then I asked my husband to check to see if, you know, my water broke, and surely enough, my water broke. And so the midwife came in and checked, and she said, yes, my water broke, but there was still like the front part of the whatever it is, I don't know. She said that wasn't popped yet, so she popped the front part. This was around like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then around 3 o'clock my nurse came in, and she was checking my vitals and monitoring the baby, and he started to decel. Basically, it's like his heart rate was dropping, and so they had me like turn over. They had me on all fours, just like change my position so we can get his heart rate to stop dropping. They kept doing that over and over again, and this was going on for like an hour or so. He was in distress, and they decided that I needed an emergency C-section. I was not prepared for that at all. Just went from, oh, I wanted a natural birth to, you're gonna have an emergency C-sections. I was laboring I had him at 6:06 on Friday, started laboring around 9:30 on a Wednesday, so about, you know, over 30 hours of labor. So you can just imagine how long and exhausting that labor was. Like seriously, like I really tried so hard not to get the epidural. I wanted to see how long I can last, because, you know, I just wanted to see how long I could last without epidural. And then about like 6 hours later, actually having him. So they took me into the surgery room. They put some more medication to make me completely numb. But the thing is though, I have like really restless legs. So the fact that it felt like I couldn't move my legs at all, that was really like bugging me. My husband was there. Well, I felt some pressure, but when they actually pulled Benjamin out of me, I felt like a really strong pressure, and I heard him cry, and I just started bawling my eyes out. Like I couldn't believe that my baby was finally out of me. Right after like they did that, they were cleaning him up, and Buzz left me to go look at the baby, and then I threw up. I was not feeling good, and I was like in and out. I was like in a daze, and then come to find out that I was having postpartum hemorrhaging, so I lost a lot of blood. Maybe that was why I was feeling so like lousy. And then my husband brought Benjamin over to me, and I got to see him. And then I passed out. When they were done like stitching me up and all that, they put Benjamin in my arms, and then they rolled me into recovery. And yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I was able to have this little baby. I'm just so glad that he's here, you guys. Like, oh gosh. Yeah, and then look at the back. We're still moving, so. And I'm sorry that I couldn't get this birth story out to you guys sooner. The move has been crazy. We're still waiting for a house, even though we're at this new duty station. And I'm just, oh my gosh, it's been crazy. And I just never had any time, because he is very, needy. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any more questions about my birth story, please leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you guys on that. It hasn't been an easy recovery at all because of the move and the stress of, you know, taking care of a newborn, but we're gonna get through this. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support and the prayers. I'll see you guys in my next video. All right, bye guys.